Emergency chart review, 10 o'clock in the morning on the 9th of September. Really quick one, just based on some of the conversation this morning in the forum. People scratching their heads, why? People want to know why price is doing what it's doing, and I get it. Fundamentals are important. However, remember that the charts are nothing more than a documentation of human psychology. All right, and there's institutions in play, people that do this and work for large institutions, banks, whatever, that trade the charts. Okay, and a breakdown of structure. Side Trader talks about structure, and I totally agree with him, Simon. Totally agree with him. Okay, because we've got a 4-hour resistance structure. Short it, short it, short it. Right? Absolutely. While behind it, you've got a resistance structure. Okay, so make your money, make your money, make your money. But now what's happened? Short, make your money, by the way. But now what's happened is as the resistance is being tested, because it's got no resistance resistance help behind it. So the 4-hour has been attacked because from a resistance point of view, because behind it, the 1-hour resistance zone has dissipated. It's gone. This is nothing here. All right, flat. This is flat. This is no power to hold as res anymore, which means that the 15-min chart as support. Yeah, there's the bell. 15-min support. Bang, up it goes. Behind it, a really decent 5-minute support channel. On the bell, test the support of the 5-min, which coincides with its 15-min helper. Yeah, so you've got the 5-min support channel confirmed by the 15-min support channel. No surprise that you've got a bullish bell. None at all. Okay, and then no surprise that you're going to break. I thought it might break this yesterday, actually. But no surprise you're going to break this 4-hour 50 once you get this set up on the 1-hour, because the resistance, the 4-hour resistance has got no help. It's got no resistance helper anymore. This is gone. So then what happens is people, are thinking, well, how high is it going to go? As soon as you break structure, which is what, I'm nicking that term from Simon because it's so true. Simon, and I know he would, he'd be shorting this because your resistance structure is still intact, whilst you have resistance help from the 1-hour behind the 4-hour. So, sorry to talk about you, Simon, but he'd be shorting, and then still maybe testing this one more time. But once the structure broke, he'd cut for a loss. But it's not a loss, because he might have made 1,000 pips prior. Give 20 back, give 50 back, because essentially all you're doing is testing the structure. Once it breaks, and I know he'd have done this too, one of his floating fibs would have hit, and he'd be trading it long. Yeah, because what happens is when there's a resistance structure breakdown, essentially what it does, because this is a map of human behavior, essentially, what it does is it gives permission for the bulls to come in. Because the bulls will go, okay, cool, we've broken down, there's no ceiling anymore, so we'll buy, because people want to buy. People also want to sell, but there's just as many people, if not more probably, that want to buy. So a breakdown of the ceiling, the bulls come in, right? So when looking at human psychology, will the bulls start to go, well, I better stop, throwing my dough in, yeah, because we're reaching the next ceiling, right? So I broke this in half with the 100 MA, and we've pushed it. Okay, I use this as a guide, all right? I use the 200 and the 50, but I split it with the 100. But essentially, the more important resistance ceiling will be on the next time frame up, because this has broken. So once you do that, you start looking at the daily. Okay, so in and around this 50 and 200, so you're looking at a resistance zone here of 370-ish, 370 to sort of 395. There's your next ceiling. All right, so I'll be looking at low frame price action into this resistance zone now for potential short opportunities. All right, but remember, this is still a support channel. 1 minute, This is a support channel 1 minute, 5 minute. This is a support channel 15 minute. So for price to reject where we are now, which is essentially in the next resistance zone, we now need to start looking at divergences on the lower frames, which we've talked about before. We have to start looking at the time sensitivity of the channel, because the longer the time goes on, the more the MA support comes up to catch up with it. So what we need for any kind of reversal is for the MAs to soften, the 200 to soften, and the price to start testing the support and start to roll the ones down, which will attack the 5-min support, which in turn could start to look back for the 15-min support. All right, but all of that, you know, is all time sensitive, and I haven't got a crystal ball. We don't know how or when that will play out, but I certainly now in this area, because we've got the next res area, will be keeping an eye on how this low frame here, look, so we've got divergences starting on the ones, divergences starting on the oscillator. That's the stock there, there's the oscillators. Stock is technically an oscillator, but you know what I mean. Looking at the 5-min chart, RSI, so from there to there is a 5-minute divergence zone. So we've got 5-minute divergence zones starting to create off of a really strong resistance area now, which is the daily. 15-min is yet to confirm any kind of divergence zone. So we're still in continuation momentum on the 15. Okay, so that tells me that we might see a little lump around this area of testing those resistance zones. Now, just because you hit a high frame resistance zone, I've said it millions of times, it doesn't then just mean that you're going to hit it. Oh, we've hit a ceiling, it'll just shoot back down. That's not how trading works. It's all dependent on all the variables of how the low frames behave within said zone. All right, so it's just, again, I don't want to sound preachy. I know I get private messages. I know some of this stuff definitely helps some of the newer traders. For the more experienced guys, you're probably not even watching these. I'm not telling you how to suck eggs. No one likes a smart ass. I'm just trying to be helpful. That the main point I'm making is that once a resistance structure breaks down, the next marker is on your chart. Okay, we don't need to suddenly look at the front page of the Telegraph. We don't need to see what Putin's up to work out that human behavior, okay, is in the charts. And once a resistance structure has broken, either go long, because it will look for the next res marker, right? Or if you're just not that way inclined and you want to short the market for whatever reason, sentiment, because you're just a die-hard bear, just because you just feel that it's going to come down again soon, whatever your reasons are, then caution required. Once a resistance marker has broken, caution required until you reach your next resistance marker, yeah, or gap fill, or fib resistance, yeah, whatever it might be, whatever floats your boat. In my instance, it's MAs that they're my markers, but they all correlate. We were talking on the phone yesterday. My resistance markers were correlating with Lucky's fib levels. I bet if I went on a call now with Simon and looked at where he was looking at potential resistance using his setups, they would correlate, within a few pips to mine. It's just different ways to skin a cat. All right, so good luck everyone today. I hope that helps some people. All the best.